Hi everyone, welcome once again to this new video. Today we are going to talk about the auxiliary verbs. How can auxiliary verbs help us form compound sentences? What is an auxiliary verb? And examples, and more examples. Now let's start. The auxiliary verbs to be, to do, and to have. Let's start with a little definition. What is an auxiliary verb? An auxiliary verb is a verb that helps the main verb of a sentence. I am reading a magazine. I is our subject, am is the auxiliary verb, and reading is the main verb. More examples. I haven't called my brother. I is the subject, haven't is the auxiliary verb, and called is the main verb or linking verb. More examples. She has danced alone the night before. She is our subject, has is the auxiliary verb, and danced is the main verb or linking verb. So, there are three auxiliary verbs, to be, to do, and to have. The first verb in our list is the verb to be. Structure of the verb to be. Remember the structure to form sentences with the verb to be. Here we have the conjugation with the different persons and in different tenses. In present, the verb to be has three forms: am, are, is. In past, the verb to be has two forms: was or were. The present participle is being, and the past participle is been. Functions of the verb to be. The verb to be can function as a main verb or as an auxiliary verb. As the main verb, the verb to be gives us information about the subject. For example, in this sentence, the girls are at Grandma's house. The girls is the subject, are is the main verb, and are at the grandmother's house is the subject information. Here we have more examples. These sentences are in present. For example, I am a student of linguistics. Am is our main verb, and I is a subject. The cat is very cute. The cat is the subject, and is the main verb. The flowers in Mom's garden are beautiful. The flowers in Mom's garden is the subject, and are is the main verb. Here we have more examples in simple past. She was the best swimmer in Cochabamba. She is our subject, and was is the main verb in past simple or simple past. They were very good friends. They is our subject, and were is our main verb in simple past. For example, I am working with my dad. This sentence is in present continuous. The main verb is working, and the auxiliary verb is am. He is playing with the dog in the park. The sentence is in present continuous. The main verb is playing, and the auxiliary verb is. They are studying the last lesson. This sentence is in present continuous. The main verb is studying, and the auxiliary verb is are. I was sleeping with my pets. This sentence is in past continuous. The main verb is sleeping and the auxiliary verb is was. They were eating a hush chocolate cake. This sentence is in past continuous. The main verb is eating and the auxiliary verb is were. You weren't traveling to New York. This sentence is in past continuous in the negative form. The main verb is traveling and the auxiliary verb is weren't. Were you singing with your friends? This sentence is in past continuous, but this is an interrogative form. The main verb is singing and the auxiliary verb is were. In the passive voice, the verb to be is conjugated in the past, present, or future with the main verb in the participle. For example, that dessert was sold at a very low price. This sentence is in past simple. The main verb in participle is sold and the auxiliary verb is was. The soup is cooked with many vegetables. This sentence is in present simple. The main verb is cooked in participle and the auxiliary verb is. The buildings were built with good materials. This sentence is in past simple. The main verb is built in participle and the auxiliary verb is were. Our history will be remembered by the whole world. This sentence is in future simple. The main verb is remembered and the auxiliary verb is be. The next verb on our list is the verb to do. The structure of the verb to do. Remember the structure to form sentences with the verb to do. Here we have the conjugation with the different persons and in different tenses. The verb to do in present has two different forms, do and does. In past, the verb to do had only one form, did. In present participle is doing and in past participle is done. Functions of the verb to do. The verb to do can function as a main verb or as an auxiliary verb. As the main verb, the verb to do can be the action or can replace a more specific action in a sentence. For example, I do the shopping at the supermarket. The main verb is do. I is the subject. She does exercise every day. The main verb is does and she is the subject. He did the cleaning last week. The main verb is did and he is the subject. As an auxiliary verb, we can use the verb to do to form negative or interrogative sentences. For example, she doesn't watch horror movies. The main verb is watch and the auxiliary verb is doesn't in the negative form. I don't talk to strangers. The main verb is talk and the auxiliary verb is don't in the negative form. We didn't cook at night. The main verb is cook and the auxiliary verb is didn't. in the negative form. I didn't talk to my best friend. The main verb is talk and the auxiliary verb is didn't in the negative form. Did you paint that picture? The main verb is paint and the auxiliary verb is did in interrogative form. Do you like coffee? The main verb is like and the auxiliary verb is do in an interrogative sentence. Finally, the next verb on our list is the verb to have. Structure of the verb to have. Remember the structure to form sentences with the verb to have. Here we have the conjugation with the different persons and in different tenses. The verb to have has two different forms in present, have and has. In past has one form, had. In present participle is having and in past participle is had. Functions of the verb to have. The verb to have can function as a main verb or as an auxiliary verb. As the main verb, the verb to have can be possession, ownership, or entitlement. For example, I have the most beautiful house in the neighborhood. This is ownership. The main verb is have. The northern lights are very interesting colors. This is possession. The main verb is have. As an auxiliary verb, the verb to have helps us to form compound or perfect tenses. For example, I have finished recording my video. The main verb is finished and the auxiliary verb is have. He has listened to romantic music all morning. The main verb is listening and the auxiliary verb is has. They had waited for the train while eating cookies. The main verb is waited and the auxiliary verb is had. We had won the top prize in the contest. The main verb is won and the auxiliary verb is had. You haven't spoken at the meeting. The main verb is spoken and the auxiliary verb is haven't. She hadn't bought her brother's birthday gift. The main verb is both and the auxiliary verb is hadn't. And these were the auxiliary verbs. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next time with more of English grammar. Bye bye!